Hello all, and welcome back to another plus 10. I am knocking them out of the park today. So now we're out to Nexus-Point Xenas, one of the midnight specific dungeons. I think all the remaining ones I need are midnight specific, so hopefully can get the last ones done this week. That'll be nice. So yeah, we're just waiting to start. I think our shaman was AFK for a bit because I don't know, he had to go AFK for something. So we're just waiting for him to come back before we start. And I really like this dungeon, like the whole zone this dungeon is based on and the story going into here. I just really like all of it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, so here we go. The first pull in this dungeon can be quite dangerous.
4,
So of course everyone tried to do it, and a lot of times it does go bad. So a very big thing people like to do in this dungeon is to pull this whole first room. Also one thing I've started majorly disliking in these dungeons is when tanks don't mark themselves, because half the time I have no idea where they are or where they're going. Yeah, so the healer dies right there, almost instantly on pull, so I use sacrifice on the tank, pop everything and just try to do what I can. Hey, I'm over 600,000 damage. 700,000, sweet, didn't notice that. Yeah, this pull is very dangerous, as you can see by the health bars. Everyone's getting trucked. I think no one interrupted the arcane cast either, which I'll should see here in a second. Yeah, this one, Arcane Explosion. I don't think anyone interrupted that, because I forgot about it until I saw it, so... Yeah, we have a couple of deaths, but the trash goes down. Could be worse. So yeah, now we move on to the left side of the dungeon. You have to go both left and right to activate these devices in order to make a bridge to the final boss. So yeah, the trash on the left side, I would say arguably is a lot more dangerous, because, well, you'll see when we get down there, these two don't really do anything specific. But yeah, first thing you see here, you have these light pillars, which gnomish engineers, which is very specific, can turn those off if they have a skill above 25 in midnight. And here you see those rings around the players. They are a slow debuff that does damage to everyone around you if you're moving. So you get paladins can just free them off. When some of these mobs die, you see these barrels spawn. You have to DPS them down, or they will do like an explosion, which does some AoE damage. Also, you have puddles on the ground, which, you know, as a melee is always fun. This big guy I'm targeting right here, he has a pulsing AoE damage, and he does a cast that does a lot of damage, like a channeled cast. Does a lot of damage to everyone, so... Yeah, this trash in general is just a big mess. And I realize now there's a guy that does Arcane Explosion in this. So I really should have been focusing him, but I didn't even see him. And then the tank goes down. He gets a rest, but then because he goes down, I go down. So at this point I just gotta run back. Luckily, paladins are really good at running back because of the horse. It makes it really fast to run back. At this point, I was considering using Nitro Boost. I always call it boots for some reason, but I wasn't sure if it would work in the Mythic Plus. It's been disabled in in-game stuff for so long. I don't know why it works in half the time, so I just decided not to. So now we're just, yeah, this trash is... We're getting close to the end of this trash. We're getting closer to the boss. Those arcane explosions are not too bad, but they can do a lot of damage if paired with other abilities, so you do want to keep an eye out for those. There's also these claw scars you see on the ground. If you stand on them, they will actually do damage to you, so... That is the last trash before the boss, and then we will get into the boss. Alright, so we're about to pull a boss. Now this boss does a few different things. As you can see right away, he starts firing up these devices at the edge of the platform, which causes these beams to spawn. They will cut off a significant portion of the platform, so you're always pretty much locked in some part of it. Every now and then a player gets a debuff, which lets him stand in the beams and then clears the beams. Stuns him for like a second or so. So players have to constantly keep doing that to keep in case people need to move. There's a debuff that spawns puddles underneath the player, similar to what was it? There was something similar, I can't remember right now. And then he does this, a giant explosion on the ground. Causes a large puddle on the ground, which can be quite bad if you're in a very small section. And then everyone gets a healing absorb debuff on them. So, and here I got the debuff. I stand in the beams. The beams turn blue if you have the debuff, so you don't actually have to keep an eye out for the debuff. Just keep an eye out if the beams turn blue. Ideally, you want to try and get rid of multiple beams at the same time. So yeah, very simple boss. He goes down pretty simply, and then we move on to the console. You have to click this console, and it also flies you back to the entrance, so... Which is a really nice thing instead of having to run all the way back. Get a little view of the final boss platform there before camera turns.
My vision has never been clearer, Lothraxian, but I don't want to believe it.
Now we're going to move on to the right side. Which can be a bit messy, but... yeah. Yeah, we got a sort of a big pull here. One of these big guys can be quite dangerous because he spawns the... well, first we got the fear void zone there that was under me, and then he spawns these... well, I died there, but... still not I didn't really check what I died to, I probably should have, but yeah, he does these... he spawns these lines out from him, and then... from those lines, he shoots out these little void things that knocks you up. So, also these small ads spawn all over this trash, which try to go to these out of phase mobs, And if enough of them go to them, they spawn another ad, so ideally you want to avoid that. You don't want to kill more than you have to. Yeah, that's mostly what this trash does. It's not a very complicated trash, but you do have to be careful on it. In this pack we have one of my least favorite trash mobs in this dungeon. And because when they go low on HP, below 50% or so I believe, they do start doing a channel which pretty much lasts forever, that puts an absorb shield and makes other enemies pretty much immune to damage. Yeah, the one I'm targeting right now. And also heals them a bit, I believe. So you want to stun that. You can't interrupt it, so you want to stun or disorient it in any way you can, just to get rid of that as soon as it goes out, or even while it's casting. Doesn't really matter as long as you stun it or disorient it when that happens. Yeah, see here I had no idea where the tank was actually going, because it seemed like he was pulling to two different directions. And I got aggro of a mob. I'm not sure how that happened. But yeah, one thing we can say, it was not a monk tank for once. Bit of variety. Rest of druid though. They're everywhere. As I don't know what every cast of this boss does, but yeah. So here you see the lines a bit more clearly. You just want to avoid those. It's kind of similar to the orbs in Seat of the Triumphant.
What a miserable display! You have all failed in your purpose!
Yeah, so there I was targeting the Absorb mob, just waiting for the cast so I could stun it. I also have my Blinding Light, but that's on a bigger cooldown, so I tried to save that for emergencies. And going after that blob, I accidentally pull a mob to the side, but it's fine. It gets pulled into the group and easily AoE'd down.
No end to you intruders. Do us all a favor and die.
So here we got another one of those Lord Traxian images, which do like a lot of frontal stuff. Really, he does like the claw. He puts the claw marks on the ground, which if you stand in them, obviously take damage. He does a frontal cone that if you stand in it, you get disoriented. Yeah. So you definitely want to kill those. Be careful where you stand while doing it. Here I'm focusing on another one of those shield mobs, just waiting for the cast to go off. Saw a warrior do a shockwave there, which was a bit before this one started channeling, so luckily I had a stun ready for it. But now we got another shield going off, and so I just used my Blinding Light because, yeah, it was either that or tabbing through every single target until I found one. Not having Like the nameplates can be a bit messy, but so it's a bit harder to find a specific target right now, but
Minions, do not disappoint me again.
so this should be the last trash pack before the boss, which has 2 of these immune shield ads and one of the big ones. So I stunned one of them there, but I believe the other one actually starts channeling for a bit because no one really has a stun for it. Yeah, there you go, the other one has started channeling. There's nothing really you can do about it. Unless, if no one has a way to interrupt it, then you were just kind of stuck here for a bit. Alright, now the boss is gonna spawn in. I don't really like this boss. This boss is a lot of fun. So this boss starts at 60% HP. Because she's been fighting before we even got her. Against Lorthraxian's forces. She puts this debuff up on people, which you just want to spread for, which is awful as a melee paladin. Not so bad because you can still do attacks, but for other melee it's awful. She spawns ads, which you just stack up and cleave. And now for the fun part of the phase, Lorthraxian image spawns in, charges the boss, and then you see this light of beam light come out and you stand in it, you take a ton of damage, but you also do a lot of increased damage. So at that point you just want to pop everything and just go to town. And you see the boss gets really low from that, and all our DPS spike. So now the boss is really low, so we just want to finish her off and move on to the last part.
There will be no end to your suffering. Go! Show me why I tolerate your responsiveness. Or that wretched You got the
Warlocks, man, they can just portal everywhere, can't they? Yes, and now we're ready to go to the last boss, which is right there.
Lothaxian, this isn't what the light demands of us. Think of the lives that will be lost. Just trust us.
We gotta click this thing and do like a channel. Similar to Manchester's Terrace, similar to in Mana Forge Omega before Dimensius. To activate the bridge, and you also get, when the bridge activates, you also get like movement speed buff. So, which I don't know why, because the trash spawns right here when you activate the bridge. So you go slightly faster until you get to this mob, I suppose. You also got these smaller mobs here, which fixates random people, which can be kind of annoying. Then there goes that disorient cone, and we also got the light elementals here, which does circle around themselves, which just does AoE damage if you stand in it, and also they constantly cast debuffs on people if not interrupted. And those debuffs actually can do a lot of damage. They're magic, so can be dispelled, but not by everyone. Mostly healers. So you wanna help the healers out? Interrupt these yellow elementals, because they can do a lot of damage if not fully interrupted. I usually pick one and stick to it so I can do as many interrupts and stuns and whatever I can to stop the casts. So yeah, the boss will spawn after the 2 images of Lorthraxian are down. So you don't want to kill the kill both of those and have a ton of trash in combat and the boss spawn right on top of you, that's for sure. But yeah. So you want to clear a bit of this platform just to get just to have enough space for the boss fight, because you will be moving around a bit for the boss fight. I think we'll be 1% short after this trash, from what I remember. Yeah, 99%. So the boss is ready, but we still need 1%. So we pull one of the fixate mobs over here, and then just pull a boss. Well, we pull two of them, but then we pull the boss shortly after.
You willingly choose to go against the light's will.
So we can cleave those down during the boss. Now this boss, he puts this circle on people, which will spawn basically clones of Lord Thraxin himself, like these images, and they will be a constant in this fight. They will charge around, like as you can see now, from one spot to the other, constantly moving around. If you run into them, they will do like a little knockback to you. So you gotta pretty much avoid them. And constantly will be new ones coming up out until a certain point. You just want to be careful that you don't get hit by anything, pretty much. And then goes into the second phase where we'll do a pull-in and a knockback. And then he will hide among his images. And this phase, there's only one. You don't want to interrupt any of them because you'll get a stacking debuff that constantly does more damage every time you interrupt another. But you want to find the real one, which the real one in that phase doesn't have hordes. So that's pretty much the trick to it. And that's the fight. So now I'll leave you to watch the rest of this. Thank you for watching.
You will not stop what the light demands. You will see the light's wrath. You will see.
Farewell, old friend.